The government deals ethanol backers a blow. More on that important update for our biofuels industry in just a moment. We're on location this week, NTV's Grow at the Gateway Farm Expo. We'll have a recap of that recently concluded event. And we're talking taxes. Find out how Nebraska farmers would reform the system after they rejected Governor Heinemann's proposal last year. But we start with the Obama administration making an important decision about ethanol, saying the law enacted in 2007 is not working as expected. The new proposal is unlikely to mean much more for consumers at the pump, but it could cut into farmers' profits for corn, the primary ethanol source. The change would require almost 3 billion fewer gallons to be blended into gasoline in 24 than the law mandates. Officials say that since 2007, people are driving less and fuel economy has improved. And next generation biofuels like ethanol have not taken off as expected. Now, the Nebraska Corn Board speaks out against the EPA decision. The group released a statement saying they're disappointed in the decision to adjust the required amount of corn ethanol to be used in the U.S. Officials say Nebraska farmers are up to the challenge of meeting the required 14 billion gallons of ethanol to be used. But they say the problem lies in a lack of gas stations and pumps to refuel with higher ethanol blends. Nebraska is a leader in the ethanol industry. We caught up with Todd Sneller, head of the Nebraska Ethanol Board at the Gateway Farm Expo. Here are his remarks.
It really is disruptive in terms of planning, in terms of production rates, and in terms of some of the marketing strategies. Beyond that, for the livestock sector, we've grown to really rely on a certain volume of the distillers' feeds. We don't want to see that cut back because it's proven to be a terrific tool for the livestock sector. We've seen an opportunity to recruit new companies to build new products and processes as part of the ethanol platform, and this will discourage them because it signals a lack of consistency in public policy. So we do believe it's very important that the EPA stick with the law of the land, and during the comment period, we'll be making sure that we try to make that point very clearly and with a fair amount of enthusiasm from a variety of different ethanol and ag advocacy groups.
Soybean farmers express concern as well, since this could also affect the biodiesel industry. According to the American Soybean Association, the proposal from the EPA would reduce biomass diesel requirements lower than what production is. Soybean farmers say that will stifle growth. Biodiesel is considered an advanced biofuel, and the industry is on track to produce 1.7 billion gallons this year. But the government goal would be well under that. Sales of tractors and combines in October fell from the same month 1 year ago. But the report from the Association of Equipment Manufacturers also says that U.S. sales of these items in the first 10 months of the year were ahead of last year's pace. Tractor sales totaled around 19,600 in October, down 3.4% from 2012, and farmers bought 1,153 combines, a drop of nearly 35% compared to the same month last year. Dry conditions and above normal temperatures help Nebraska farmers complete harvest. According to the USDA, farmers have had pretty good weather for field work. The corn harvest is nearly complete, more than 90% finished, well ahead of last year's 83%. Many producers are now turning to fall tillage fertilizer applications. And now the results of our not-so-scientific poll. Here's what you said about how your harvest has gone. Your results may have varied during harvest. We'd love to hear from you. Go to our Facebook page, join the conversation, and share how your harvest turned out in 2013. Guaranteed profits, and he's willing to bet the farm on it. A North Dakota rancher says it's all about soil health.
I will bet my farm against yours that I can get it working anywhere in the world.
It's a bold claim by a North Dakota rancher who says if farmers take care of the soil, it'll take care of them.
We need to get back to the point where the soils can provide the necessary needs of the plants.
Gabe Brown argues farming has gotten too easy. Farmers who want solutions get something else.
Instead, they want to sell you a herbicide.
In the soil health movement, farmers plant cover crops, stuff like radishes and turnips, to recharge the soil and also to graze cattle on.
Where now we are highly profitable. Corn can drop to $2 a bushel, I can still make money. There's not many people that can say that.
With more regulations on water and chemical use and rising costs for those, many say now's the time to explore these options. But that can be a tough sell in the Cornhusker state.
Fully 99% of the land area in Nebraska is privately owned, so we depend on individual landowners.
So the Grazing Lands Coalition works with the University of Nebraska to educate farmers who've got the drive.
And how long do you have to drive to get here today?
4 hours.
To stop tilling and use fewer inputs.
If you farm, you're given a gift of taking care of the land.
Gabe Brown says it's easy to make money when commodity prices are as high as they've been the last few years, but he says this is a different mindset.
The real profit and the real satisfaction comes in what are you passing on to the next generation.
We've got a link to Gabe's farm on our website. Well, starting a farm and cattle operation can be pretty tough, if not nearly impossible. Ag leaders are trying to help by kicking off the 100 beef cow, 100 acre ownership advantage. The Nebraska College of Technical Agriculture in Curtis hosts the 2-year degree program on or off campus. It will prepare and train students to operate their own farm or ranch. Meanwhile, thousands of agricultural jobs go unfilled each year because of a lack of qualified applicants. The Monsanto company is launching America's Farmers Grow Ag Leaders. It's a scholarship program giving students the opportunity to earn a $1,500 scholarship to further their education. Agriculture is much more than just farming. It's thousands of careers in a variety of fields like science, technology, business, and communications. Student and farmer eligibility can be found at growagleaders.com. Salty and savory. Is it any wonder Americans love bacon? Here's another installment in our series, Baconomics.
Okay, this is bacon wrapped water chestnuts on the left.
I never would have thought of bacon and water chestnuts.
And on the right, we've got bacon wrapped little smokies.
I could eat that all the time.
Dun, da, da, da. It isn't just for breakfast.
She's the Baconator of Greeley County.
Dun, da, da, da.
So when Renee Nasiba asked me to chew the fat around her kitchen table, I couldn't say no.
God bless the pork farmers around here too. And the beef farmers love you, but you don't make bacon, so.
Those farmers contribute greatly to economics in this state, or Baconomics as we're calling it. Nebraska's 3rd congressional district is the 5th largest hog-producing region in the country.
Yum.
As a farm reporter, I've seen the stats on bacon. There are nearly 3,000 bacon items on menus nationwide, twice what it was a decade ago. More than 1/3 of Americans eat bacon at home on a regular basis. If bacon tempts the taste buds in a unique way, there's science behind it. In addition to sweet, sour, salty, and bitter is something called umami, that savory taste of which bacon is a great example.
And it's salty, it's porky, it's unctuous.
But as much as she hams it up with bacon, Renee doesn't overdo the oink.
Everything in moderation. It's a joke since I was working in radio that I love bacon. And I cook with it, on occasion, not all the time.
Bacon is Renee's inspiration not only in the kitchen, but putting pen to paper.
You perfect porky goodness, part of life's great celebration.
And when we come back, a year after the governor's failed attempt at tax reform, farmers have some ideas of their own. Marilyn Barnett sits down with the head of Nebraska Farm Bureau.